Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to the video. This is where we ended up at the end of the last video. I put together the tray for the high humidity planter, which is coming from the powered underbarrel filter. And after a whole pile of tweaking, I got at this stage here where, well, things flowed the way I think they should. And after doing that, it's always best to let these things flow for a little while, just to make sure they continue to do so. Because remember, at the end of it, I said I might need some deflectors just to get the overflow to come a little bit further away from the side, but for the moment this is actually really quite good and I'm quite happy with it. So the next step, of course, is to put on a spray bar. Now I popped a little quick one together here just to show you some aspects of this, and what I'm going to do this time though, instead of just drilling a whole pile of holes, picking the one I like and putting that all together, I'm going to do something different. And this is something actually not different really. I used to do this all the time. Years ago, I would design filters, and then I would have you, the viewers, have input onto, where to go next and that kind of design. I really kind of liked that. It was fun to do, and we ended up some very interesting filter designs. And I would like to get back into that. Now, this is not going to be as elaborate as that because all I'm doing right here is putting together. This is the cap. This is going to go over the top to keep all the splashing where it needs to be, and that allow humidity to build up inside this thing. And what I'm going to do though is I'm going to put together, as it turns out, 4 different spray bars. They have different configurations of holes. They have different sizes of holes, and of course they're going to create different amounts of splash and different amounts of force and, well, all that sort of stuff. So there's going to be a variable as far as the amount of humidity that's going to be in there, because if you remember from the air-driven ones, the air would bubble up and that would bring water with it, and then what would happen is those bubbles would burst, and those burst bubbles obviously supplied a lot of humidity. So you do need some form of splash like that. But also, if you remember from the time I put together the little rainforest build where I had one of these caps, had a rim on the top side, which is on the bottom right now, and a whole pile of holes drilled, and water would flow up into the top of that and then spread out and then drip down through all those holes. Well, as it turns out, that is just too much water. It ended up flattening everything out, and even though a lot of the plants I put in here, like a Java fern and Java moss, are quite resilient to that sort of thing, it never worked out. I tried to keep it, slightly different variations, slightly different flows, and try to get it to work, but in the end I ended up scrapping the whole thing. It wasn't doing what I wanted it to. And the other problem with having it from the top as well is it did block a fair amount of light, so I wasn't getting the right amount of light for the plants as well, especially after the little bit of algae grew. And these things do grow algae anyway, but anyway, beside that, it just wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to put on, I drilled 4 of these things, and at the end of the video you're going to see those, and then I'm going to put up a pole. Another thing I haven't done in a long time. I'm going to put up a poll. I'm going to give you the 4 choices, A, B, C, and D. And at the end of the video, of course, there's going to be a clips for each of those. And you guys can figure out, have a look at it. There's not going to be any plants in it. See if you like one over another or anything along those lines. And then I'll go from there and put that one in, and I'll set that filter up. If going by whatever you guys decide, there's no real clear winner, what I'll do then is I will set these up and let it run for a little while, each of them individually. This is going to take a while, of course, though, because the plants do have to grow or be knocked down and that sort of thing. So it's going to take some time to do it that way, but I will go through each of them. And then again, of course, if there's any other ideas you guys have, definitely let me know about that as well, because one of the other things I could do, instead of just doing a straight bar going up the center with water splashing towards the sides, I can put a T-bar system in on the top and just have the water spray down. I decided to avoid that this particular time because of my rainforest build experience, so I didn't really want to quite go that route. But anyway, those are all options. So, and the other thing I would like you guys to comment on is whether or not you think this is sort of something you guys would be interested in. I mean, it has been a few years that I've done this. I got a fair amount of feedback in those days, but you know, times have changed, so who knows if that is something that people want to, you know, do again. I do have a few more filter build ideas. I've done quite a few of them, but there's still quite a few that I haven't actually covered. So, and one of the things I should mention, I suppose, while we're doing this here, if you decide you want to get into building filters, this is the one thing that you need to kind of get the hang of, and that's putting together a box, because they all seem to be based on boxes. I have made some cylindrical ones, but those are way more expensive to make, so this is much more simple and also much more cheap. So we're getting close to where we're going to put the spray bars on. There's one other thing I want you to... There's two things I would like you to keep in mind when you're watching it. And first off, how much humidity do you think each of them is going to produce? And the other thing is, how much force is being, as the water sprays out. The force that those streams put on the plants is also something I want you to keep in mind, because they can knock plants over. And also there's the other thing I want to keep in mind, and you should comment on, because I didn't really do any other orientations for each of these spray bars, but they can be turned, and that means more water is spraying against the sides, less versus the ends or at angles. Anyway, lots of detail here. Leave comments if you have any ideas on any kind of improvements for all those, but that's enough rambling. This is this is ready now. It's going to let it cure for a few minutes, go, and I'm going to drill all the holes I need, and then we're going to set this sucker up, and then yeah, we will see what it looks like. Well, there you go. That's the cap. There we go. This is spray bar number 1. This is the one you saw at the end of the last video, and this is the smallest holes. It's just been hooked up. That top hole that you see spraying a lot of water won't be there. This is just a leftover from another cap I had. But keep an eye on the spray and how you think that is. This is the next diameter up, going up by 32/2 of an inch, and less spray. I also have the water spraying, as you can see, straight towards the sides instead of at an angle. That's something else to keep in mind. And yeah, it's less spray, but less force as well. And then the final diameter one is this one here. This is going to be obviously the least amount of force, and also, of course, probably less amount of spray as well. But there you go. There's going to be one final one here. The only reason I put that one on is because I thought maybe a little bit extra holes for the original one might be the way to go. And this is the first diameter hole now. This has twice as many holes, and as you see, it does cut down on the force. So keep all that in mind. I'll put up the poll probably at the same time I do this. Leave comments in this, of course, and hopefully we'll get some answers, and we'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.